first thing first, why you want to leave medical profession, such a noble profession? And for any job, all the 21 jobs, you want any one of them. Why you want to leave it?
Sir, my primary intentions are to enter the policy making domain. If I may play this out, sir, till second year of MBBS, I was a distinction student. In my third year, my father would soon be diagnosed with a terminal cancer called multiple myeloma. It was detected in the stage 3B, but his first symptoms were shown in what would have been the equivalent of at which point it could have been eminently treated. I believe, sir, if I have to make a difference and save lives, it cannot be as an individual doctor. I wish to enter the policy, sir, policy making domain, sir.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, what is specific as a medical professional you would like to take to civil services when you join in there?
So I would like to offer my services to the health ministry and in whichever platform. And I would like to bring about some changes, sir, potentially at the rural healthcare that we find ourselves in. One, in increasing the number of beds, even in PHCs. Currently, the PHCs are not do not have beds per se. Secondly, in order to retain talent, I think there is a surplus of talent, especially with the bond system being integrated into medical education. We can attract certain level of high caliber specialists as well. Thirdly, sir, at the level of medical education, I believe that it's time that AI is integrated into medical education so that diagnosis can become more accurate. And ideally, the students must be given an early opportunity for this to enable them to understand how to operate with it better.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. In India, as we talk about the medical system, it is mostly privately done. I mean, my health is my problem. State has not been forthcoming. Of course, we understand there's constraints of resources, but don't you think that the state could have done better meeting its obligation for the public health, so to say?
So, given the hard reality that which is a resource, the state currently focuses on the preventive aspect of it, and I do believe this is where much of our healthcare should continue to remain focused. The secondary and the tertiary aspects after the diseases have set in would not be proportionate, would not lead to a proportionate improvement in human developmental indices as against the early interventions that can be seen in the preventive healthcare setup. I believe, sir, the state therefore is currently and correctly aligned in this.
All right. We also find, Rangamanju, that in our country, the rural-urban gap in terms of health support system is very, very large. I mean, the hiatus is too big. If I consider that you being appointed in a predominantly rural district, how do you like to bridge this hiatus as a district magistrate with the knowledge of medicines?
So I would like to improve the bed ratio, especially in critical care in the rural areas. This can be done at the intermediate level, that is at the CHC level, community health center level. I would like to incorporate a few ICU beds in this as well. As complex as it sounds, ICU bed is not necessarily just a bed with fancy devices attached. It must be at the service of an intensivist. And it is my design to induct intensivists into the rural healthcare.
Mm-hmm. Right. You seem to be very, very passionate about medical health and services. But then I was wondering that you have not taken medicine as your optional. You went for anthropology. Would you mind sharing the reason for this?
So my decisions were largely strategic. At the point of time when I decided to enter the civil service exam preparation, I was informed by my seniors who had cleared the exam that anthropology is a booming subject. In addition to this, sir, among the other social science subjects, I specifically chose anthropology so that it could give me an worldview of how the society functions, which could help in policy making. And also because anthropology has a biology element to it, which I believe was a scoring for me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's more of the practical reason. But then reading anthropology is a very soft discipline. It touches the life very, very tender way. How it has influenced you as a person?
So some critical aspects of anthropology, such as cultural relativism, have actually opened my mind towards what empathy is, or to how to be more accepting and willing to accept different cultures and subcultures. I also believe, sir, that there is an emic and an etic way of looking at things, which is what anthropology as a discipline has taught me. And furthermore, sir, I believe that the holistic approach that anthropology also professes, which is to see not just in the atomistic sense, but in the macroscopic sense, is something that I will take to the field.
All right. You mentioned the reference of cultural relativism. Could you identify some of the major tribal area problems that we have in our country?
So, within the specific context of cultural relativism, in the context of healthcare, we believe that there is a superstitious element to it, the reliance on shamans or the medicine man, without whose guidance they will not be as accepting of empathic care. And within the perspective of education, sir, once again, I believe that the tribal way of living is seen in as an end in itself, and they are less willing to accept the modern way of pedagogy. And I believe these are culturally relativistic aspects.